published 7:07 Eastern Standard Time, the 5th of January 2018, updated 12:28 Eastern Standard Time, the 5th of January 2018. With each passing minute, he gets closer to the door. The relentless pursuit, the speculation and the astronomical bid, nothing dilutes the sense that Philippe Coutinho is destined for Barcelona. Liverpool are yet to receive a concrete offer this window, after rejecting 3 bids in the summer, but the dialogue that is taking place in the background indicates that an offer of £140 million will see Coutinho become the third biggest transfer in history. The economics for Liverpool are incredible, standing to make a £131.5 million profit on a player they signed for £8.5 million 5 years ago. Philippe Coutinho, left, appears to be on the brink of leaving, but Jurgen Klopp will decide. The Brazilian is desperate to join Barcelona, but the timing seems to be strange. Moneyball is a term used frequently around Fenway Sports Group, and this arguably is the greatest example you could ever wish to see. It should be noted, however, this is not a transfer being driven by Liverpool's owners. They do not want to lose one of the jewels in their crown and are not looking to sell to balance the books, after smashing the world record for a defender when buying Virgil van Dijk. If, or perhaps more accurately, when Coutinho goes, the ultimate decision will be made by Jurgen Klopp. He won't keep a player whose heart and mind is elsewhere, regardless of how big the talent or importance to the team. He won't tolerate disruption. Nicolas Anelka moved to Manchester City and Liverpool lost momentum as a result. History, though, says this won't go well. Liverpool have been here before. Losing a key figure has not been a new phenomenon since the turn of the century, but the Coutinho situation has parallels to 2 very specific cases that had huge consequences. First, let's go back to 2002, specifically May 11th that year. Liverpool finished that campaign by winning 10 of their last 11 Premier League matches, the final victory being a 5-0 demolition of Ipswich. The last goal of that rout, in the 88th minute, was scored by Nicolas Anelka. He had put the gloss on an excellent loan spell at the club, and the feeling that afternoon was Liverpool were ready to challenge for the title once again. They had finished 7 points behind double winners Arsenal, but Anelka had given them momentum. The expectation amongst players and supporters was that Gerard Houllier would make Anelka the statement signing that summer. He was settled, he was popular in the dressing room, and he wanted to commit to Liverpool. He was, many believed, the missing link. But Houllier went cold. The deal was off. Anelka joined Manchester City and the momentum Liverpool had was lost. Houllier signed El Hadji Diouf. He proved a spectacular flop and the title challenge never materialized. Liverpool finished 19 points behind champions Manchester United. Now let's go back to 2009. At the end of a campaign that had seen them amass 86 points and take United to the wire in the title race, there was the time to strengthen. Instead, Xabi Alonso, one of the architects of the team, was sold to Real Madrid. The lure of going to Madrid for Alonso was obvious, in the same way Barcelona will appeal to Coutinho, yet a falling out between Alonso and Rafa Benitez meant the fight to keep him was not so strong. Liverpool cashed in and took £30 million. They replaced Alonso with Alberto Aquilani. And the outcome? They finished 23 points behind the title winners Chelsea and failed to qualify for the Champions League, leading to Benitez's sacking. Aquilani, haunted by injury problems, never threatened to replicate Alonso's majesty. Coutinho would be cup-tied at Barcelona but has an outside chance with the Reds, so there is the gamble. Building a team, in some ways, is like playing Jenga. The removal of one wrong block and everything comes crashing down. The fear amongst Liverpudlians now is that the sale of Coutinho will set the club back once more. Nothing makes sense about the timing of this. For starters, he is cup-tied and cannot play in the Champions League. He also seems to be neglecting the fact that he has a genuine shot of winning Europe's premier competition if he stays on Merseyside this season. Liverpool are dark horses to win a 6th European crown with Coutinho. Without him, they are probably just quarter-finalists. And what happens in the long run? Will his departure trigger the reaction of 2002 and 2009 and the loss of momentum? At this stage, nobody can say. Yet what can be said with certainty is Liverpool will be poorer without the man who is known simply in the dressing room as the magician. The onus will fall onto Klopp to ensure they're not weakening at a time when they should be getting stronger. Klopp has to decide whether keeping hold of Coutinho will disrupt his side this season. Start to 2018 has all been about departures on Merseyside, and this week's column cannot pass without focusing on Ross Barkley's move to Chelsea. It is no surprise that he is leaving Everton, but, even still, the switch jars. This correspondent remembers the buzz around his emergence into the first team, when as a 17-year-old he provided a flicker of hope on a rain-sodden day against Queen's Park Rangers in August 2011, when Everton lost 1-0. Back then, Barkley was viewed as the replacement for Wayne Rooney. The next great academy star, Ross Barkley, will not go on to become the Everton hero many hoped he would be 2 years later, in what Roberto Martinez's first match at Carrow Road. His blockbuster shot with his left showed him to be an emerging force in English football. Unfortunately, things have not gone as Barkley would have hoped, and the last 12 months have been particularly difficult, with all conversations about him revolving around Ronald Koeman's criticisms, contracts, injuries, and, worst of all, being assaulted in a Liverpool nightclub. Chelsea are adamant he can recapture the sparkle of his youth and fulfill his vast potential, and their interest in him has been there for some considerable time. They have paid £15 million, and, whatever happens, they will not lose money on their investment. There is, though, much more to football than money, and Barkley at his best had a capacity to remind you of how the game should be played and enjoyed. It is a crying shame he never became the hero Goodison anticipated he would become. It is to be hoped he gets to the levels everyone predicted. There was so much buzz around the midfielder, and it jars that he is leaving for Chelsea.